many cameras is too many asking for a friend? Here's the thing to realize. What's your top 3 pieces of advice for photographers? Oh, dude, come on. But I think if you're stuck, if you're feeling stale, if you're having trouble, it looks so dope, you guys. Welcome back to Adventure in Art. My name is Ben Staley, your resident talking head. Hey, we're going to talk about some gear I've been using, and we're going to do a Q&A, and I'm going to cram it all in here together, try and keep it entertaining, and try and keep it under 6 hours. So hang on. Okay, let's not waste any time. I put up a post on YouTube. You know, you can put up posts and some of you guys like those and reply to them. I asked for questions for an upcoming Q&A, only got a couple responses. So then I put a story on IG and got a whole crap load of responses and questions. So it's just interesting where you get, you know, different levels of interaction. I know a lot of you follow me on IG and I appreciate that, although I'm not as active there as I am here on YouTube. We're already getting long-winded. Let's go. Oh, one last thing. There's a couple questions in here, filtered in here. By the way, these are in no particular order. There's a couple questions that came right out of responses, replies to actual videos, and I just thought they were worth putting in here. So anyways, it's a hodgepodge. There's some good stuff here. Let's go. Right off, Lead Dog. Lead Dog is a relatively new subscriber, always very active, always replies, always comments. Appreciate you, dude. He says, outline your #1 dream assignment. What is it? How would it play out? And what further extraordinary assignments would it lead to, or how would it change your career life? Lead Dog, thank you. Great question. As artists, as storytellers, it's very, very important that we have goals, that we have kind of a North Star, that we're, you know, that we're going towards things that we really want to accomplish. And I have a lot. The older I get, the more I have, and maybe that's a problem. I'm not satisfied with what I've done. I'm not ready to rest on my laurels, the few that I have. What I really want to do is get a job touring with a major recording artist. And I want to do stills and I want to do video. Content for them, perhaps melding it into a book project or a documentary project. I can do both those at once. I have done both those things at once, photo and video, for a number of years for people like Netflix, Discovery Channel, Nat Geo. I want to take that skill set and I want to point it to a major artist. I want to tour with them. I want to get in the studio with them, and I want to be like an embedded journalist telling that story. It's a hard nut to crack. Relationships are key, and I'm actively trying to build relationships, make relationships, shoot as many people as I can, musicians. It's why I went to Telluride and did the Telluride Bluegrass Festival. Maybe you guys saw that video. This is something that is a big goal of mine and that I want to accomplish, and I know that I will. I know that I will. I'm gonna get there. I'm working on it every day, putting out the good vibes, trying to manifest this. Thank you for the question, Lead Dog. Medium Raw. Oh, Medium Raw is an amazing photographer, by the way. I'm gonna put the IG up here. Just follow him on IG. Really good stuff. I'm just stoked that he asked me a question. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you. Let's have a beer sometime. How do you stay motivated when things are stale? There's a couple questions like in this vein in here. I don't have this problem. I always, there's actually a video coming probably in a month or so. It's already in the can, but like I have stuff stacked up. It's just like, if I want to be inspired, I just put on a different lens or I go for a walk. It's like, I don't get stale. I always have ideas. I've got more ideas than I can possibly accomplish. I have photo books. I'll pick up a photo book. I'll just start looking at it. I have a bunch of art books, fantasy art, things like that. I'll do that. I'll go to a film. I'll go for a walk. I don't have a problem with motivation and wanting to make things. Now, if it's a job, it's different. And if you're doing the same job over and over, I understand that. I'm not really in that situation, so I'm not going to comment on that. But I think if you're stuck, if you're feeling stale, if you're having trouble, move. Thanks for the question, dude. Singbex, how did you build your vision logistically and what inspired you? How did I build my vision logistically? I mean, I'm inspired by what's come before me. I'm inspired by the works of, you know, great artists like Avedon or Peter Lindbergh, things like that. Sebastião Salgado, just like there's a North Star. There's someone, you know, going to these difficult places and working on photo projects for years and years and years. Someone like Lindbergh who has this almost documentary found feeling to his images, but you know, they're very meticulously crafted, yet they're just, you know, he sets up these situations and then just is at the right place at the right time, captures the right moment. It's really cool. I want to do that kind of work. I actually want to do more long-term documentary work, and I kind of have. If you look at a bunch of the stuff that I've done over the years, there's pockets of work that I think tells a longer story, and I haven't really gotten to the place where I'm ready to compile that yet, but I will. And I want to do more of that, and a lot of that comes with, like, I would like to do that with an artist, work with them for a year or 2 years and just tell a story over a long period of time, especially an emerging artist, someone who's really coming on and growing in their reach. I hope that answers that question. Okay, let's get to the first bit of gear, the Sirui 35mm Aurora autofocus full frame lens. This is it. Whoa, almost dropped it. I've been using this lens really a lot for the last month. Actually, I filmed, I think the last 2 or 3 videos, talking head video, were with this lens. Right now I'm using the Lumix 35 1.8, but for the last couple I used this 35 1.4. A little bit heavier than the 1.8, a little bit bigger, a little bit faster. Yeah, I walked around with this lens like exclusively for several weeks in the morning, and I'm just gonna play a whole bunch of those photos. But let me just tell you about the specs. It is $549. Maybe I should save that for last. See, I'm not very good at this stuff. 35mm, it's 1.4 to f/16, 16 elements in 11 groups. 13 aperture blades. Close focus is 1.15 feet. That's pretty close. That's something that I really look for in, especially like a 35 or a 50. You typically get pretty good close focus with those lenses, and that's a key point for me. I'm really happy with the close focus on this lens, and that makes it cool and that makes it fun. You can get pseudo macro shots. You can really blow out the background, just make it really go soft and hone in on things, flowers and things like that. I actually like doing that kind of photography a lot. So, you know, it's got autofocus, manual focus. There is a customizable button. I didn't actually do that. You can lock the iris, and it's got an aperture ring, so you can just set the aperture on the ring. So say for, oops, the lens cap came off. Not doing a very good demo here. So, you know, you want to use it on cine application, you can click or declick it. Am I right? Yes, I think that you can. Iris lock. Here we go. Click or declick. So maybe you can hear that. Or you can declick it, and it's just buttery smooth. This is a cool little lens. It's definitely a really good price. It seems to be very tough. I mean, I'm not precious with the camera gear, so, you know, I've just battered this thing around and carried it around for almost a month and used it a lot. It's a cool lens. Check it out. They sent it to me to review. They didn't give me an affiliate link or anything, so I don't make any money if you buy one. I don't really care. It comes in like all the mounts. Let's see. It comes in most of the mounts, I think, like Nikon and Sony and Canon, I believe. Maybe not Canon. It comes in a whole bunch of mounts. Look that up. You can find it wherever you're buying your lenses. You know the places. It's a cool lens. Have you ever had a portrait session that permanently changed your perception of what a portrait is? That's a great question. M Cosmo 76. Cool, M Cosmo. Yeah, I have had moments where, oh, this is different. This is cool. The light was just right. The person was just right. The way they moved. Sometimes it's like, I call it the quickening, which is like all of a sudden, the hairs on your arms and the back of your neck stand up. Everything, you're like taken over by this energy, and things are like happening in front of you, and you just realize you need to flow with it and you need to move, and you hadn't imagined that. You're always hoping that happens. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes it happens right away and then it's over. Sometimes it happens at the very end. It's why I'll always stick around and try and like, let's try one last thing. And sometimes that's where it happens. Some kind of weird magic. It all just sort of flows. Yes, I have had that happen where, oh, you know, this kind of side angle, or maybe just, you know, making someone a silhouette, or yes, I've had that happen where, oh no, this is a portrait. This is different. I didn't imagine this kind of photograph, but I love it. What made portrait photography become that something special for you? What do you seek in it? Yeah, I've always just really loved pictures of people's faces, you know, like going back to like when I was a kid looking at National Geographic and the work of Steve McCurry and stuff like that. Life magazine, you know, then becoming a filmmaker, shooting a lot of talking head interviews, for a doc type stuff, commercial type stuff, and then realizing, oh, those are like motion portraits. I can take that skill set, that understanding of how to light a face, and now just do stills. And you would think that'd be easier. It is, it's more immediate, but it's infinitely complex. I just love it. I love trying to make a good portrait, make something unique that no one else has done, or that no one else could do, or no one else would think to do. And I like the communication, and I like the dialogue back and forth, and I really like the collaborative process of it. I love making portraits. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Nicosmo76. Brandon Talbot. You guys know Brandon? Brandon's got a YouTube channel. You should check it out. Just search Brandon Talbot. He's got a dope YouTube channel, and he's a great dude. We've met a couple times. Thanks, Brandon, for asking a question, dude. Is there anything skill-wise you want to improve? Oh, yes, everything. I want to be better at everything, man. No, specifically skill-wise, I'm not great at posing people. And I don't know that I want to be, but I feel the tension of that. And I feel when, like, if I just had a better suggestion of maybe someone could stand or whatever. I'm such a documentarian, and the kind of photography that I like to do comes from that place, that instinct. And so I don't really like to arrange people too much. I make suggestions. The other thing is I wish I was a little more fluid and comfortable with like shooting with strobes. And I do, I shoot with them often. I've shot with them professionally on jobs. Like you have to do that. I'm always like a little bit uneasy because I'm so used to constant light, and that's my comfort zone. So I'm less fluid and less comfortable. And I wish I had like a really nice pro photo setup or something, and I was just doing that all the time, or I had a studio where I could just set something up and just shoot with strobes like every day for months and get better at it. Good question, Brandon. Anything else skill-wise you want to improve? Everything. I want to be better. Every day I'm reminded of how I'm not as good as I want to be. I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied with what I've done. I'm not satisfied with my skills. And there's more to do, more to learn than I will ever be able to in this lifetime. And I'm acutely aware of that every day. You know, I don't think that's ever going to change. Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate you, dude. Appreciate what you're doing out there. 1513 Studios. What's your top 3 pieces of advice for photographers? Oh, dude, come on. Top 3? I should have probably wrote these down. I'm winging it. In no particular order, my first piece of advice is play. Play. Come from a place of being a child and like finger painting or drawing with crayons, and experiment. Don't be precious. Don't worry about anyone else. Don't worry about what you're doing. Play often. The other thing you must do if you want to be a decent photographer, or you want to be serious about it, is you must shoot every day. Look, I walk every morning with a camera, and I walk largely the same route. You guys, if you watch the channel a lot, if you're a diehard, you've seen that. There's more videos coming about that. It's so important to have a practice, to practice photography, no matter what level of professionalism you are. A lot of photographers, people that do weddings, things like that, oh, they get burnt out. Yeah, well, just come at it as a child. Play, practice. Do things for you. That's 2 pieces. What's the third piece of advice for photographers? Like, look at books, look at magazines, read. As much as you should spend a lot of time with a camera in your hand, you should frequently do things. Put the camera down for a day. Put the camera down for a week. I do a lot of travel, and I've always got a camera with me. Generally towards the end of a trip, especially if it's a personal trip, I will spend a day or 2 where I just leave the camera in the backpack or in the hotel room or whatever. And I know I'm gonna miss shots, and I know I'm gonna miss opportunities, but it heightens your senses, and it's almost torturous, but it's freeing too. And then I come back, and now I just feel so fresh and so inspired next time I pick up a camera. So play, shoot often, and find blocks of time where you don't touch the camera for a day or 2 at a time, maybe a week. Okay, turn of the page. Oh, now we're back to some more gear. This is the K&F M1 Pro V5 camera monopod with fluid head. That's a frickin' mouthful. Here's the actual monopod part of it, because the other part of it, the fluid head and the bottom, is here on this guy because I was using it yesterday. But yeah, I mean, this is so cool. Boom. And then I can actually pop the monopod on, pop the top back on. Get in there, you. Boom. And then look at this. There's like this little handle. So I can just adjust it. I've been using this thing a ton. Boom. And then I've got a fluid head here. So like, this is a really big heavy lens and camera. Look at that. And it's on a monopod. I can sit here. I was shooting in a music studio the other day with a young lady who was recording, and I had this monopod, and I'm just like shooting anamorphic like this, and I can just set it and kind of drift with it, and it's like, I know I've just dumped a bunch of stuff on you guys. I freaking love this. This is like my favorite piece of equipment that I've used in a long time. I can't believe I've never had something like this. It's so cool. Just raise it, lower it, boom. I can take the head right off, put it on the legs down here, and I have like a little mini tripod. I've been walking around with that in the morning. Let me read you the specs about this darn thing. It's $429. There is a link below and an affiliate link. They sent me this to try out and they gave me an affiliate link. So if you buy one, buy from the link below because that supports the channel and me. Thanks, appreciate that. I need to be better about this affiliate thing. It's B2 carbon fiber. Maximum height is 1750 millimeters. I don't know. Dude, I wish this was like in inches and feet because I'm in America, yo. Folded height, support, leg weight, it's all in grams, and maximum load capacity, 10 kilograms. That's like 20 some pounds. 2.2, yeah. Product weight, 29.94 grams. Yeah, anyways, there's a pedal on the bottom so that you hit the little pedal and then you can actually tilt it, which is really cool. I just love this thing. Look at the legs. Here, take this off. Here's the legs. These fold up. Boom. Boom. I can take the head off again. Boom. Here, I've just got this. I could put this whole thing in a backpack or strap the tube to the outside of the backpack, put this stuff inside if I wanted to make it small. I could put it in a small suitcase as a carry-on. This thing is a game changer. I just love this thing so much. Okay, moving on. I should put it all back together, huh? Yeah, you should. Hang on, let me put this back together. Get in. Boom. That is the K&F M1 Pro V5 camera monopod. Beautifully Mundane says, any advice for introverted photographers? Hey, I'm pretty introverted, you guys. I'm like naturally kind of shy. I'm not super outgoing. It's even hard for me to sit in front of a camera like this and talk. I feel awkward about it. And I feel awkward talking to strangers. Here's the thing to realize. The thing that you're afraid of is the thing that you need to move forward with. You need to move towards that. Move towards the fear, face it, and then move through it. And pretty soon, this thing that you're afraid of, you might remain afraid of it. I remain shy. I remain relatively introverted most of the time. I'm okay with that discomfort and that tension. And I'm okay with facing it and moving forward and moving through it because I've done it enough to where I realize, oh, there's actually no real danger here for me. Move through the discomfort. Move towards the thing that you are afraid of. Thank you, Beautifully Mundane. Great question. How's the Sigma BF camera? Well, you could look at my last video. I love the Sigma BF. Actually, I kind of want one. I miss it more and more the further I get away from having had it. Yeah, I mean, you can watch that video. There's a whole video on it. It's like 20 minutes. I like the Sigma BF. It's cool. More weird cameras. I like what Sigma's doing. Yeah. Caroline Hawkeye, where in the world that you haven't been yet would you love to go to and create? Nepal. I want to go to Nepal. I want to do like a multi-month trekking on foot journey through Nepal, through the high mountains. I'm definitely a mountain person and an ocean person, but I'm a nature person. And the mountains and the oceans are, this sounds counterintuitive. I've spent hundreds of days at sea and I've spent hundreds of days in the mountains, and they have the same energy, that raw nature energy. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. They don't care if you're there or not. You better respect them. You better listen to what they're telling you. You better pay attention because they can shrug you off and they can snuff you out in a second. They're just indifferent. Mountains and oceans are magical places full of power. And I've been to amongst the biggest mountains on this continent. I've been amongst some of the biggest mountains in South America. I haven't been to the Himalayas. Actually, the more I talk about this right now, I need to go. I need to make that a priority. I really want to go to the Himalayas and trek, not do any like serious alpine climbing, which I used to do in my younger years, but just hiking up as far as I can, up into the steep places and the high places, and being in those places and listening to the wind, feeling the cold mornings, feeling the weight of a pack on my back, which I like. It's comforting, and taking pictures. Thank you, Caroline Hawkeye. Grub305, how many cameras is too many asking for a friend? I don't know. I have quite a few cameras. I don't even know how many. It doesn't matter. I don't think you can have too many, but you shouldn't have things that you don't use. Every camera I have, I use it fairly regularly. So, you know, do I have too many? No. There are other cameras that I want, that I desire, and that I wish I had. You know, it's a disease. It's a sickness. Really, you only need one. You only need one. If you have more, you better be using them. If you have cameras that you're not using, unless they're like an antique or they're like, you know, something like that, they're on a shelf. I mean, that's cool. They could be a display, you know, piece of work of art or whatever. Yeah, good question. Angela Vision PH, where and how did you learn to use light properly? I'm still learning to use light properly. No, I started off as a filmmaker and I had a single Kino Flow light and I was lighting interviews with that. And I had a little janky little lighting setup, and that's just where I first started to learn how to use light. I've just built from there, and I'm still learning things. You know, it's like a lifelong thing. Photography is a lifelong endeavor. I'm still learning how to shoot people. I'm still learning how to photograph. I'm still learning how to use light. I am pretty confident with light though now. Give me a couple lights and I'll light something. Does that answer that question? I don't know. Corey Black, you guys know Corey Black. She's been on the channel a ton. She's gonna be on the channel again really soon. How do you select the subjects you shoot? Bands, models, etc. I mean, sometimes people approach me, bands and models. Sometimes I approach them. Sometimes we find each other. It's an organic process, Corey Black. I like to say that we find each other, and it is organic, it's natural, and it's meant to be. Yeah, but you know, sometimes if I really want to photograph someone, I'll just ask them straight up, hey, can I take your picture? And yeah, sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. It happens or it doesn't happen. And then a lot of times they come to me. I want you to take my picture. Great, I love that. That's great. More of that, please. Okay, next item that we're gonna talk about that I've been using a lot. This is really cool. This is a Lano CS2 charger. Look at this. This is it. What is this? This is just a battery charger. Look, boom. I got 2 batteries in there for my Lumix cameras. Boom, close it up. It's got a little reading here, so it actually tells you the level of charge remaining on the batteries, and it tells you when they're 100%, so it's super cool. You plug it in via USB. There's actually a little slot here for an SD card. It doesn't transfer data, but you could store an SD card. So I guess you could, you know, if you're doing a trip or something, throw this in your backpack or your bag or your Pelican case or whatever, and it's just a little portable charger. You can do 2 batteries at once, which is really handy. And it's all enclosed like this. Oh, look, the LED came on. There you go. See, it says I got 2 charged batteries in there. There's a link below. I don't have an affiliate link for that. I'm not even sure how much it is. $92.99? I think that's right. That's what I have written down here. There's a bunch of versions of that this company makes for all different kinds of batteries for different companies, and they have bigger, more badass ones. That's like the only one they had that works for Lumix batteries, which is what I have. They actually offered me if I want to try a different one, but it didn't charge the kind of batteries that I have. So there's a bunch of options. It's a super cool little product. Check it out. I've been using it like a ton. I'm glad that I have it. And yeah, moving on. Next question. If you could go back and tell yourself one thing as you were starting your photography journey, what would it be? Kind of the 3 pieces of advice that I gave earlier. One is just play, which I always kind of did. Like a camera was always kind of the coolest toy for me. But play. The other thing that you should do is do projects, like have a story to tell, have a point of view, and have something going all the time that's a project. Give yourself some kind of deadline. Give yourself constraints. Constraints are where the real creativity happens. If you're just like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. No. Give yourself deadlines and have a goal in mind. This is where the good stuff happens. You need constraints, you need deadlines to put a little pressure on you for you to perform at your best. Thanks, Huff Photo. CRW Photo Motion. What is your basic video rig? Just the basic parts based on your documentary filming experience. What I'm using mostly, well, I have the S5 2X, which is recording me here. What I use a lot and that I love is this, which is a Lumix GH7. And I have it rigged out with the tilted cage. It's got the Arca Swiss on the bottom. I got a side handle. I got a top handle. I can take the top handle off and put an audio adapter on here for XLR audio or whatever, or I can just plug in like my little Rode mics and plug them in through the mini jack here. Increasingly, if I have to go do video somewhere, this is increasingly what I take. Why? Because the lenses are so small. And I know everybody's all like, it's gotta be full frame, it's gotta be full frame. Yes, full frame, shallower depth of field, better in low light. This is slightly less good in low light, but it's very good. Depth of field, depending on the lenses, if you get fast lenses, nobody's gonna know the difference. The other thing that's great with this is honestly, and it makes the difference to me, is with the smaller sensor, the stabilization is amazing. Like I increasingly don't even use a gimbal, and I have a gimbal. With these, man, I can get super stable shots. So I actually hope they keep supporting Micro Four Thirds and making them. I don't know how many people are using these kind of cameras anymore. These GH cameras were the first mirrorless cameras I ever bought. I mean, they were like some of the first mirrorless cameras around. This is what I'm using, and sometimes I'll use the full frame, and then sometimes I'm using this kind of vintagey S1H, which I like, and I'll adapt these Atlas anamorphic lenses to it. So it's a hodgepodge depending on what I'm shooting. Was in a music studio the other day shooting an artist recording with this, and it looks so dope, you guys. So it really depends on the job. I think I'm gonna do a video because you guys said you want to see it in the comments. You want to see the video about the Good Time Camp Out that I went to a couple months ago, and I have tons of video from that and stills, and all I took was Micro Four Thirds. I took the Sigma BF as full frame, but I didn't take any other full frame cameras. I mostly shot with the GH7 and the G9 Mark II. Why? Because I could have a whole wide variety of lenses that all fit into a backpack very easily. So yeah, this is increasingly what I'm taking. Man, I get so long-winded, you guys. What is still on your bucket list to shoot? I mean, I kind of talked about that earlier. Thank you for the question. I want to go to Nepal and trek through Nepal, and I want to tour with a major recording artist. Like, I want the big stage. I want the big stage, and I want a chance to do what I know I can do. I want that job. Okay, last page. What is the best entry-level pro camera I can buy on the market right now? This is from Christopher in Adventureland. Christopher. Christopher is a homie that I always see at the Good Time Camp Out when I go. Here's a picture of Christopher. Yeah, thanks for the question, bro. I wonder if you're actually gonna watch this. Are you gonna watch this? Ping me, text me, if you actually see this, dude. The best entry-level pro camera. Those are kind of diametrically opposed ideas. Pro cameras are not entry-level. Everybody asks, oh, I'm starting in photography. What should I get? Get the best thing you can afford. Get the best thing you can afford. Actually get a camera that's 2 or 3 years old, one that is used and in very good shape, and then get the best lenses you can afford. Yeah. I mean, there's so many cameras out there now. Heck, you can get a 5, 6-year-old camera these days, and it's freaking amazing. It's amazing. Don't worry about getting the newest, hottest, most badass thing. It's not necessary, you guys. Get a 5, 6-year-old camera and get the best one you can afford. Any goals for placing in a film in a festival? Eddie Carrasco Jr. Eddie's got a YouTube channel. Hey, Eddie, thanks for always showing up, bro. I appreciate you. Go look up Eddie Carrasco Jr. and check out his YouTube channel, you guys. I don't have any goals for placing in film festivals. I think anymore, I've won some film festivals. You can't see it, but I have a trophy up there from this music doc that won a festival about a decade ago, a little more than that. I don't know. I don't really think about film festivals anymore that much. If I was going to make a feature or do something big, I would definitely put it in festivals, but for shorts and things, no, that's not on my radar, and that's not what I'm focused on right now. I am going to make this Africa film. I'm slowly chipping away at it. It's going to be a short anamorphic film shot in Africa. And maybe I will send that out to some festivals. Thanks, Eddie. What's your favorite subject to work with or category? And are you rather in a studio or outdoors? Chrissy Oz, 85 Chrissy Oz. Would I rather be in a studio or outdoors? I like both equally. I love being outdoors. I love being in the wild places at the edge of the day, early morning, sunset. I love being in the wild places so much. I also love being in a studio and just crafting something and being comfortable and having the space and the time. I guess if I had to choose, I would say just give me the outdoors. I'm always gonna wanna be outside. Thanks, Chrissy. Can I find your outdoor studio? LOL. I guess you mean this one that I shoot with intermittently. I love it. I've been out there recently to shoot some videos and stuff. Actually, you've seen a little bit of that footage in this video. Yeah, look for San Francisco Road and look for the site of the St. Francis Dam tragedy, which is something I only learned about a few years ago. I actually want to make a movie about it. Yeah, spoiler alert. I hope nobody does that before I can. I need to get on that. San Francisco Road, the site of the St. Francis Dam tragedy. That's where it is. You'll find it. There's a part where the highway has been cut off and they rerouted the highway, and there's this old section of abandoned highway, and that's my outdoor studio, and I love it. I love going out there. I'm planning some shoots out there in the near future. Adventure Audio Guy. Oh, Adventure audio guy. What's up, dude? Ricardo Garza. Ever get the photographer's version of writer's block? How do you overcome? It's kind of similar to a question that came earlier. When I'm feeling stuck, when I'm feeling blocked, or when I'm feeling uninspired, I move. When you're feeling stuck, move. I was actually going to make a whole video about that subject, but I guess I just sort of summed it up right now in like 10 seconds. If you're feeling stuck, move. Go for a walk. That's what I do. I walk every morning and it just unearths things. If I'm really stuck or I really need ideas, I go for a longer walk, and I go for a difficult walk up a steep hill or something. I'll go 5, 6, 7, 8 miles if I need to. I will grind it out. And this usually dredges up some things. It usually inspires me. It usually gives me ideas. It gives you endorphins. It gets your whole system moving. You sweat. You know, you're breathing. You move. You become unstuck. If you're stuck, move. Thanks, Ricardo. Milan Pearl, how do I start charging for photo services? You start charging for photo services. You know, and you just have to decide, like, am I only shooting paid assignments? Or do I choose some people I will collaborate with, some people I will charge, some people I'll donate my services? You have to decide that. It's difficult. I will tell you this, you will photograph less if you decide to only charge. I actually don't think you should only do photography for money. I think that you should do personal work and you should do professional work, and there should be a clean line between them. I'm kind of like, I love to photograph, and if it's an artist or someone really needs something and they can't afford it, I'll go shoot them. Why? Because I want to, and I want to give that. However, if it's a brand or someone wants something specific and they want to have a real opinion, then they're going to have to pay for it, and it's not going to be cheap. So I either charge a really good rate or I don't charge anything, and that's kind of up to me. And basically, if you want photographs in a certain way, in a certain style, you have certain requirements, you're gonna have to pay for that. I'm happy to shoot people, but I'm gonna do it my way, where I want, how I want, as much as I want. It's all up to me. That's kind of how it works. So if you want to start charging for photography, just start charging for photography, but make sure that your skills are up to the task. Oh, last thing I want to talk about gear I'm using. This is not gear. I want to talk about Track Club. I do put their logo at the end of many videos. I get all my music from Track Club, and I've been using them for a couple years. They gave me a subscription, and yes, I have an affiliate link, and it's always in the description of my videos. But I just think I want to point it out here because if you're making videos, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or if you need royalty-free music, you should get a subscription to Track Club. They've really changed the game for me. Like early on, I would make all the music myself in GarageBand, and I'm no musician. But now I use Track Club. The cool thing is, well, you can do a similarity search, so you can plug in like a song from Spotify or YouTube or something, and it will find similar songs for you. You can also put in the parameters of what you're searching for, instruments, tempo, beats, that kind of thing. Also, most, not all, but most songs, they have all the stems. So you can download like all the tracks of all the different instruments, drums, bass, synths, effects, guitars, whatever is in the song, banjos. And what I do always is if I pick a song, I will download all those tracks, and generally I'm doing my own remix in Final Cut Pro, and that's how I get some of the weird sounds that I have on here. And honestly, that's something I really love doing. I really enjoy that process. There's also a thing called the Mix Lab, which is cool, but I've never used it, where you can actually mix the songs right on their website. You know, audio, you can cut tracks out, you can export, you know, the song with only certain tracks. It's pretty cool. There is an affiliate link below. If you need music, check it out. Use my link because it supports the channel, it supports me, and I appreciate that. Track Club is freaking awesome. We're almost done. Jetty. I've known Jetty for almost a couple decades. Jetty, when are you going to be in Montana? I wish I was going to be in Montana this week. I don't have any plans to be in Montana anytime soon, and that kind of bums me out. I love Montana. I would love to live in Montana. I don't have any plans to be there. Darn it, I want to go to Montana. Somebody give me a job in Montana. Are you doing any more photo shoots with the Q2? Actually not, I sold it. Sold my Q2 over 2 years ago. Do I miss it? Yeah, I kind of miss it. You know, I kind of want a Q4 III. I think about that camera a lot. Like, I think I would like that camera. I want one. When you shoot out at your studio or on the street or blank, 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 do you have Danny or another helper with you? I would love to get out into the remote places and take shots of models, but don't want to creep anyone out. I have taken a female friend on side as a sidekick. keeping everything comfortable. Okay, I don't like shooting in public places, and I don't like looky-loos, or, I don't like shooting on the street and having people around. Although, the very next video after this, which I'm gonna record as soon as I'm done recording this, is about a photo shoot I did on the street, in an alley, actually. One of my favorites of all time. So I have done it, but I avoid it at all costs, and I don't like it. And that's why I like my studio, because rarely does anyone bother me down there, and I like that. I do recommend, it's helpful to bring someone with you just to help out and to help schlep gear and to keep an eye on your stuff when you are shooting, like your backpack or your gear or whatever. Or you can just walk around with someone and shoot in alleys and doorways and out of the way. It's a comfort level. You got to decide where you want to do it. Some people go in busy public places and do photo shoots. That would make me uncomfortable. I don't like that. I like a little privacy, and I like, kind of having a vibe and having, a real collaboration, communication, connection. And I find that people around are kind of distracting. And now if you have a professional model, they're kind of used to that distraction and it doesn't really bother them. And I've done it. I don't like it. Bring a friend if you need to be comfortable. Okay, that's enough. Last question. Rob Hargraves Photography? Rob Hargraves. Sorry, Rob Hargraves. Rob Hargraves is a long-time viewer. Thanks. Sorry for butchering your name there, Rob. It's like looking at that. Okay. Rob Hargraves Photography. Rob's a portrait photographer. Can you tell us about kindness that you've seen in the industry? Yeah. Can I tell you about kindness, Rob? I can. I'm going to try. I'm in a weird spot right now. Like I'm in this kind of revelatory period where I'm looking back at my last 20 years in the entertainment industry, television mostly. I've been treated with amazing kindness. I've also been treated with a lot of fake kindness. I've also been treated with a lot of not kindness. So I just think you're going to encounter kindness, and you're going to encounter the opposite of kindness. I think kindness is a trait that you should always reflect, though. I think you should approach people, even when they are, hostile or unfriendly to you, approach people with kindness, empathy, and compassion. It's a great question, Rob. I think we don't always know what the other person is going through, what they're experiencing, what they're enduring, what their life is like, right? We're internal creatures, largely, and we're having this whole internal life that oftentimes isn't outwardly reflected. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Sometimes what's reflected outwards is puzzling to us from other people. So reflect back kindness, empathy, and compassion, even when it's not reflected at you. There may be a reason for that. And if you want to receive something, you better give it first. Good question. I hope that answers your question, Rob. One last thing I wanted to talk about, and I think I bounced right through it. I did. I bounced right through it. I want to talk about the other thing that I use all the time are simpler straps. We're here at the end. I have this on my M6. I've had this simpler strap on here for almost a decade now. Check out simpler straps. I use them on many of my cameras. They're inexpensive. They're very durable. This thing's been all around the world. Check out simpler straps. I don't have a link or anything. I'll put a link down in the description, but I don't get any money or anything. I just like these, and I like to support this company because it's a small company owned by one dude, and I think he's making a good product. If you need a camera strap, simpler straps are cool. That's it. Thanks for watching the video. Gosh, this is a long one. We'll see you again real soon. Take it easy. Oh, go out and shoot something. Get off your phone. Get off your TV. Get off your computer. Bye.